Good evening and welcome to the August edition of the Penfield Historic Preservation Board. We'll call the meeting to order. And the first thing we need to do is approve the minutes from the May meeting. We did miss a couple of meetings. We have monthly meetings in there, so we're going back to the May meeting. And can we do that without a quorum?
I think we've done it before. If not, we'll redo it.
All right, well, then we can redo it. So can we have a motion to approve?
Motion.
And a second?
I second.
And a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you. All right, we have a couple of guests tonight. I'll just ask them to briefly introduce themselves and who you're working with.
Andrew Tyson, Crast Construction. We're the construction manager on the project.
And my name is Jim Montgomery. I'm with Loyal 9 Development, one of the general contractors on the project.
Okay, you might have to get closer to the microphone, sir.
Sure.
I'm sorry, who are you with?
Loyal 9 Development. I'm one of the subcontractors.
Okay, we have a couple of items that we need to get into related to the Alpheus Clark House plan and the changes that are underway. Why don't we attack the windows first? And if everyone get a chance to read up on the windows. Trying to find there were two options that were presented by Loyal 9. And quickly to go through them, there was an issue that you may describe for us, that the hardware that was supposed to be there turned out not to be there.
So the two balances that were installed originally on the windows, when we took the windows out of the sashes, all of them were destroyed. All of the windows actually were already screwed shut, so it has been a problem probably for a number of years. And the way that the contract was written was if any of them were to not be salvageable, they would be replaced, but all of them were not salvageable.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So the first of the recommendations was to install the 40 new windows, the rehabilitated sashes. So they would all be new, I guess.
Correct.
And they would not have that matching original hardware in there.
So the window sashes themselves are being rehabilitated, so they won't be new. They're rehabilitated sashes. It's the hardware that would be replaced.
Okay, so all of them can be rehabilitated.
The windows themselves be rehabilitated, yes, sir.
Yeah.
It's the hardware within that makes the window go up and down.
Okay. And and they would be unoperable, or they would that option where they would be operable.
Which option are you speaking?
The option one.
That would make the windows operable.
Okay. The option two is to do the same repairs and rehabilitation of the windows, but they would be inoperable and sealed right from the get-go when they're put in.
Correct, yes, sir. And there would be no hardware installed to make them operable.
Yeah. So the question for us is, do we think they should be operable, or some of them should be operable?
Well, town prefers not operable ones because you don't have screens on them, right?
That is correct.
Microphone, please.
Town prefers them being not operable because there are no screens on them. I wonder if at least one window should be operable in case of emergency.
So on the back side of the house where, the old addition is coming off and the new addition is going on, there are going to be new windows. Those will all of the new windows, because there are no windows on that side currently, those new windows will all be operable.
Oh, okay. Then in my opinion, they can be all unoperable. Is that a less expensive version?
Yes.
Because you don't need hardware and non-matching hardware.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So option 2?
It's option 2. Look like that's what we would accept. Do we have a motion?
I move to accept option 2.
I don't think we can vote without a quorum.
Yeah, I think we have to
Oh,
wait for
yeah.
Megan.
Oh, we need to wait on that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we will wait on a vote, hope she shows up,
Yeah, let's move to the shutters then.
and we'll move to the shutters, which I think is maybe a longer, maybe somewhat more complicated discussion. There, maybe the place to start is to look at the two options. And quite honestly, I'm not sure of what the difference is between the two, except that there is a control rod on the second option, and there isn't on the first. Am I viewing that correctly?
Yes, but there are some differences. The second option is a much more custom options, where these louvers on the first option would be a set depth. We wouldn't be able to change that, the size of this louver, where on the first option, they are custom sized, where I can match that exactly to what was there.
The first option.
The first option would not have that. It would be a set depth, set size. I can't, it's like I'm ordering a set piece. With the second option, there is much more customability to it, so I can get it to match almost exactly to what this is.
How different will be set size from this?
I can tell you that the size, I can make it the same size, but I can't change the size of each mullion.
How,
Here and
is
here?
it going to be thinner?
They would probably be thicker than what they currently are, and these would also, these would also be larger, the actual louver themselves. There also is no, like you said, there is no control rod
Okay.
on the first option.
And that was my main question, actually, because there is a little picture in the first option that we were looking at, and I counted them, there's 7 louvers. Is that the only option? And what versus the 15, which I think these are?
Correct. So option 1 would have what you see on there, that number of louvers. And option 2 is, again, much more customizable, where there would be as many as I can get into that size,
Yeah.
that size of shutter.
How many of those shutters are on the building?
Oh, wow. So there are 11 pairs shown on the elevation drawings.
What's the cost difference?
Significant.
So moving into the costs, so option 1 is just under $7,300. The cost that they had for base bid for the restoration was $7,600, so it's roughly a wash for those replacements with a small credit coming back, but this will be no impact to the allowance. With option 2, that's $22,605 for material. Subtracting the $7,600 for what was base bid for the restoration of them comes to an add of $15,000. So after adding that to the allowance, that's roughly 9% of the allowance used up just for the shutters. So as we stand today, 19% of the allowance is used. Scope of works done completed so far in the project is 22%. So adding in these shutters will push percentage of the allowance used beyond the scope of work already completed on the project.
How much of the allowance used is in the house?
I don't have that number offhand.
What's the savings for the windows if we wanted to go with the option that they don't open? I mean, we save money there, I would assume?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, so option 1 is a 15% markup, and that's to make them operable. Option 2, inoperable, is very minimal. There's a big price difference between these two as well.
So if you're going with the windows that don't operate, don't open, you're saving some money there that you can put into the shutters to have
Yeah.
the second option.
But how much was the savings?
It's not the savings.
So,
It will
yeah.
be a change order for $14,000.
So for the window options, they would both be adds. So whether or not it's going with option 1, which would be an add of $17,710, or going with option 2, which would be the brackets or the DAP and seal option, which would be around $1,000 increase.
Well, that's the windows, but not shutter. What about shutters?
The shutters, so option 1 on the shutters, there will be a small credit coming back for option 1, just because of how the material delta between what was carried for restoration costs. Option 2 on the shutters is an add of $15,000.
I have an opinion. I think the look of the shutters is very important for this building, because that is shutters and the windows are practically the only thing that will show us the original historical element of the building. So I am against switching to standard shutters, and I think we should keep we should do the custom shutters and kind of with existing.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with that. I think the first option with the larger louvers really doesn't maintain the look of the historic house. Can the option 2, I don't know if it would save any money not to have that control rod?
So the control rod was priced out. I would have to actually go in and get a different price.
Do you have a gut feel for, it's a tricky little piece of,
Right. They're manufactured with the product or without the product, but I didn't get a price from this supplier without the control rod. It is important to note, though, that control rod that is on there would not be an operable control rod. It's just basically for show.
right.
But they don't have to be operable. They're just an aesthetic element.
Correct.
Well, we can't vote on it, but
No, but you guys, so basically you kind of made your opinions clear on which way you're leaning on both sides for both the windows and the shutters. If you guys all feel the same, then that is kind of what we'll move forward with, and we'll have to wait for an official vote to change the certificate of appropriateness until we have a quorum.
so we're okay, the three of us with the windows?
Oh, Steve, do you have an opinion on
No,
that?
I agree 100% that I like the second.
Okay, so we're going inoperable windows and the custom shutters. So option 2 for windows and option 2 for shutters.
Right. We're okay with, on the shutters, to eliminate the control rod, particularly if it saves us.
We can see how big of a price difference it is.
Does the control rod add any, it adds a visual in there, doesn't it?
And
Or
the
does
current,
not?
so the current shutters do have the control rod. Let me
Well, that one doesn't.
Yeah, that one's gone.
I don't know that this one ever did.
Here, there's a picture of what the existing looks like.
Okay, so if control rod is eliminated, would that vertical element not be there?
Which vertical element?
Well, on the photograph, there is a vertical line.
Right, that's the control rod.
That's the control
Right, so
rod.
just for reference too, if you look on that picture that's on the screen right now, you can see there's a notch in the center mullion, and that shows that there's a control rod.
Okay.
I don't want it to sway your opinion either way, but I can tell you that this one never had one on there, because there's no notch. So some of them did, some of them didn't.
Yeah.
So if you're basing it off of just what is historical or not, some
Can
of
we
them
do
had it,
some with, some without?
So I think it's a matter of aesthetic, really, and
Yeah.
if you guys think that it's important to the aesthetic or not.
I think-
Or we can look at pricing.
Let's
and you guys
find
can
out
take
the
that.
price difference.
Yeah, you guys
Sure.
can take price into consideration, so if it's a significant difference to not have them and you don't feel like that's important, that's something we can move forward with.
Yeah. Can you scroll down there, because there's a bunch of pictures, and we'll see if they all
Oh,
have
yeah.
that.
So-
Do they all have the control rod?
These all do.
Yes, they do.
Many of them do.
Most of them do. I think this is the front facade of the house. So that shutter is off of the addition, or the side of the addition at least. So maybe those ones were replaced.
Yeah, I would think
These
that.
ones all have the rod. So here's that shutter, it looks like, maybe.
it's definitely that
That's
shutter.
that one. And that's right on the west side. And then this is the matching one on the other side.
So maybe we should do
So it looks
control
like-
rod on the front.
It looks
and-
like the front facade does have the control rods. Yeah.
Which side is this?
The west side.
That's the west side of the
That's the
building.
west side?
And there was an addition put on there. at
Right,
some
that's the
point.
side of the addition.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we have our preferences, and we need to wait for a quorum to vote, and we do apologize. We didn't expect not to have a quorum tonight.
Can we vote between the meetings? I don't know if that will hold you up or not. How is your schedule?
This is not an item that needs to be figured out within the next month.
Okay.
I
All
think, yeah, were the windows more?
It's not a critical,
pressing?
this is not a critical path item. The windows were more.
Yeah, windows
critical
were
path.
more
Okay.
important.
Okay.
So
I
for
would
the
like-
windows, can we do it, can we vote via email?
I'm not sure. I'll have to check with the attorney to see
Okay.
what is allowed, or if we can even do a really quick meeting. Everyone stops in and heads out in 5 minutes. Reschedule
Can you
it.
still do Zoom meeting?
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yes, you are allowed to do Zoom as long as you announce it ahead of time. So let me check in with the town attorney. Yeah, maybe we can even just do a quick Zoom call, 2 minutes, in and out vote, just so we can get it officially documented. But at least everyone has a path of what is likely going to be voted on so that we can move forward and keep everything moving for now.
Okay.
And you'll update Megan on the discussions that we had.
Yes, yep, and Nick, so that he knows for the next
Okay.
meeting, in case he can participate as well.
Okay.
All right,
Well, thank you again for coming.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
thank you, guys.
Hey, we just have one more thing I'd like to cover here. As you remember, we lost our board member and good friend, Dr. Pignato, back in May. And there is a Town of Penfield Certificate of Remembrance that it's reasonably long here, but I'll read it for you. In loving memory of Mike Pignato, devoted husband, father, community leader, and preservation advocate. Town of Penfield honors and remembers the life and legacy of Michael Pignato, who passed away on May 22nd, 2025, leaving behind a remarkable legacy of kindness, humility, and unwavering dedication to his community. Whereas Michael Pignato served the town of Penfield with quiet distinction and integrity as a member of the Historic Preservation Board for more than 20 years, faithfully participating in hundreds of meetings and helping to guide the thoughtful preservation of the town's historic architecture and rural character. Whereas Mike's dedication to public service was rooted in his deep appreciation for history and his belief that the past must be honored to give meaning to the present and future, and his voice was one of reason, humility, and vision in every discussion. Whereas, Throughout his decades of service, Mike was admired for his consistent presence, thoughtful preparation, and respectful demeanor, earning the trust and friendship of board members, town staff, and the community he served so faithfully. Whereas, outside of his public service, Mike was a man of deep personal values, a devoted husband to Diane, a proud and loving father and grandfather, and a man of faith, intellect, and kindness, who brought warmth and quiet leadership to all areas of his life. Whereas Mike's professional life was dedicated to education and research, and his personal life reflected those same values of inquiry, thoughtfulness, and lifelong learning, qualities that enriched his contributions to the town and all who knew him. Whereas Mike's passing is a profound loss to the Penfield community, and his absence will be deeply felt by the many who had the honor of serving alongside him and calling him
Maybe I should read it. Mike's passing is a profound loss to the Penfield community, and his absence will be deeply felt by the many who had the honor of serving alongside him and calling him a friend. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the town of Penfield, on behalf of its residents and with the full gratitude of the Historic Preservation Board, formally recognizes and celebrates the life, service, and legacy of Michael Pignato. His decades of volunteerism, leadership, and care for his community will not be forgotten, and his memory will live on the preserved buildings, protected landmarks, and strong civic spirit he helped nurture. Presented this 7th day of August, 2025, with lasting respect and sincere condolences to his family. I just want to add that he was on the board for more than 30 years, not 20.
30.
I started in 95, and he was already here. I don't know how long before 95 he started.
Yeah. We'll change that 20 to 30.
We'll get that edited.
That's a long time.
It is a
Just
long
think
time.
about it.
And Mike was, I think he joined the board at the urging of town staff because he was a property owner of several buildings down in the village. He spent an enormous amount of time and effort and money to rehab these structures and to keep them up over the years. So he was a very valuable
Yeah.
team member to the town.
He owned the building on 5 Mile Line Road, and it had a cafe on the first floor. I don't remember what it was called. There was a cafe there, and
Yeah.
then there was a shop.
There was a shop.
There
And
was
he
a
owned the
shop.
building behind that, which was where his practice was.
Right.
And the building in front that there was another
Another dentist.
dentist in there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Orthodontist. Yeah, my kids went to the dentist. Yeah.
So we'll miss him. But in his honor, we need someone to adjourn the meeting.
Yeah. He also did a lot of missionary work. He traveled to South America with doctors without borders. I remember that he had to miss several meetings because he was somewhere, I don't know, Peru or some other country.
Yes, and he would spend time in
Yes,
Nicaragua.
Nicaragua,
And spent
yeah.
time in St. Lucia, all doing pro bono dentistry work for the poor populations.
Yeah.
Including in the U.S., he spent time in Appalachian, eastern Tennessee, doing the
Okay.
same thing. So, a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
I
So
second.
moved in a second. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.